friends, I am Gali Sarish. On behalf of BSE IPF, we are running series of videos on topic union budget. This is the sixth video, and we have been looking at various deficits that are being shown in this particular document, and one of the deficit is effective revenue deficit. When you look at this particular effective revenue deficit, this is nothing but there is a information as grant in aid for creation of capital assets. So normally central government gives some grants to state government. So the expenditure as grants is a revenue expenditure for central government, whereas grants is a capital expenditure for state government. So indirectly capital assets are being created within a country. So effective revenue deficit for government would be 2.4 is actual number previous year. Projection was 1.8%, but revised estimate is near about 12,25,000 crores, and in percentage it is 6.3. So here it was showing us 7.5, but it is 6.3. So actual 1.2% central government has given as grants to all the state as well as union territories. So this is the amount. Just understand this point. Whenever we are talking about expenditure, so borrowings, so whenever a central government borrows some money, the main objective is to create asset, so that whenever a asset is created or capital expenditure is being done, overall there is a growth involved in that particular expenditure. So what is the expenditure in this particular category? So grants is indirectly utilized for capital expenditure. So it was revised to 22 lakhs, but the actual estimates have grown to 2,30,000. So the borrowing has been utilized for increasing the grants to the state government, whereas the capital account expenditure, it was 4,12,000 crores. It is increased, the estimates have increased to 4,39,000. So the expected capital expenditure, the good part about this information is that even the government has borrowed money, they have utilized this borrowed money for capital expenditure, so which is a good sign. So indirectly there is an efficient use of the borrowed money for asset creation. That is a healthy sign, and you can also see that the capital expenditure is going to increase to 5.5 lakh crores for the next financial year. So the government is constantly trying to increase funding for capital expenditure. Capital expenditure is nothing but creation of roads, maybe dam building for various locations. So any expenditure which can create growth opportunity or in agricultural, for example, if we are assuming the capital expenditure amount is being used for creation of dams, so the water can be utilized for agriculture purposes. So that would be indirectly utilizing or benefiting the country on a longer run. So effective revenue deficit is far more effective data as compared to revenue deficit. There is one more deficit where you would come across as primary deficit. So what it shows is that what is the actual amount that you have borrowed. So when I am talking about what is the difference between fiscal deficit and primary deficit, fiscal deficit is nothing but the amount that we have borrowed from the market. So here in the 7th you can see the number you might be misleading, but this is straight away shown here. You can see the number here, 7th and fiscal deficit numbers both are matching. So the point is that fiscal deficit is the borrowing amount. Whatever the central government is borrowing, those numbers are reflected under fiscal deficit. Whereas in primary deficit, so whatever amount that you are borrowing, the borrowing is done, and in that particular borrowing there is one component as interest payment, one component as loan. So I would deduct this interest portion from fiscal deficit, and that would give me primary deficit. So for this particular financial estimations, it is 18,48,000, and if I deduct this 6,92,000, that is interest payment, I am left with 11,55,755 crores, which is 5.9%. So primary deficit is the data which tells or gives us an idea that how much amount central government has actually borrowed, and from this borrowed money how this government is efficiently utilizing for capital expenditure. So this is an important data which is being not efficiently utilized or used to understand the government budget. See, once again we would look into the trends of primary or deficit. How is this particular primary deficit? You can see government is borrowing in 2009-10, government has borrowed 3.2% of the amount. It has reduced to 1.8 to now in 2018-19 it was 1.4, then 1.6. In this particular year they have increased the borrowing to 5.9, and the good part is that they have also estimated that the borrowings would be reduced to 3.1% going forward. So this is a good sign or good projections. The numbers are being projected to make sure that it is within because as we know this is a difficult time, so borrowing was done to improve the condition of the country. So that is important for the country as far as for individual people staying in the country. So hopefully this deficits would give you a appropriate idea, and you might have understood how each deficit represents what numbers, and you can easily interpret this number and judge the assessment of the government, and the performance can be easily assessed by individual people. Thank you friends, thank you once again for watching this video.